was
Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report, coming to you live from the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino on week 8, and it is another beautiful day. Yeah. We have had some. This is didn't do the math in my head, but we have had some rough patches, but it's almost like it's been in like quadrants or something, because the quadrant we're in right now and have been for a while is sensational.
Yeah, it's a little heading back to a little more humidity. Last week, the humidity kicked down a little bit. We're getting back to that, but I'm okay. You get this late in the summer and you get some summertime days holding on. I'm all about that. So I think it's going to be a nice day this afternoon. We will get the jump race in, so thumbs up for the jumpers. That is certainly a positive, and after a nice weekend. Again, obviously on Sunday we talked about the big Saturday, but Sunday was fun too with the New York Reds. Panda Gate with some local connections gets it done in the Albany, and some other nice New York Reds on the card as well. And it was a nice day on Sunday, so it was a really nice Travers weekend. Going back to Friday and that personal incident, I said two Phillies wound up losing races they didn't deserve to lose in that personal incident in the Travers, but a couple of races that will be memorable in the history of Saratoga.
It'd be very good, interesting if the Breeders' Cup Distaff.
Yeah.
It can never trump the Classic. Always has to be the biggest race, the money and everything, but I don't think it's going to be a stellar lineup. I mean, as a function of win percentages. I mean, the older crop is, and the 3-year-olds are still, as of this late date, in my opinion, not sorting themselves out.
Fierceness and Dornock have kind of risen to the top, but given the first half of the season, we're now looking more at since May or June. So yeah, I mean, but I think they have distinguished themselves slightly as compared to the first half of the year. But you're right. I mean, idiomatic Torpedo Anna, who we saw this weekend, and then you throw in Adair Manor out on the West Coast, who's going to face the boys in the Back Classic.
You've got to figure she's not going to stumble again. Adair Manor. I mean, this for those who don't remember, probably the greatest performance in the Pacific Classic was Beholder, who just grabbed the race in a 16th of a mile and won by like 7. And now Adair Manor trying to add the Pacific Classic. They seem to be set that they're going. They from the Clement Hirsch to the Pacific Classic. So that's it would be a sensational showdown.
Yeah.
Brian Edo and I were there watching Songbird and Beholder. And our comment as we were leaving was both the same. This race will never get its just desserts because it was Friday.
Yeah.
It was the get-out race on Friday, and then they went to the juveniles on Friday, and they put all the originals, the 5 remaining originals. I've always liked the original 7 on Saturday, but they have a theme now. The juveniles run on Friday. But, here's hoping. And there's been a lot of, the last 3 days, much made of the demise of the Fall Championship Series. I'm like, that was like 10 years ago. I mean, it really got, what is there, 5 grade 1s in New York in the fall? And 2 of them are the 2-year-old races, the Champagne and the Frisette. So, that was really, I thought.
I get it, though. I mean, you've been at it for a while now.
Yes.
Hey, at some point, we've gotten there. It's going to be Saratoga to the Breeders' Cup.
We are there. Trainers are saying it.
Yeah, which makes the fall, kind of quiet.
Very quiet.
and there we have some fans coming to watch. So
I can only eat so many Swedish fish.
Only
so many.
You guys will have to get back to a TV by 10:40 or so to watch pickleball. I was out of pickleball, which was benefited.
Well,
it's the therapeutic courses of
you didn't
Saratoga
get injured,
crowd.
so that's a good sign.
Oh no, I didn't play. I was taking pictures.
Oh, all right.
They asked, and I said, I don't know the rules. What am I gonna?
I don't.
But
I know one thing. It's taken off like
that's
through the roof.
We talked to the owner, and he said, the fastest growing sport in America.
Absolutely. I know places ripping up their tennis courts for pickleball courts.
It was right down the street from me, Legacy Pickleball, and Rudy Dale Romans won his division, I think intermediate. Rick Schosberg was on the team in the pro division, but there was Trevor was there, Katie Davis was there. Who else? Javier Castellano.
I was at a party about.
Rajiv was playing.
Anthony's 18 now. About 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. My friends have a large backyard, and over there were people, as I came to learn, were playing pickleball. And that was kind of like, it was the first time I'd ever seen it, and I think it was kind of like the infancy of it. Now I see it on television.
My question was always, is it a good workout? And watching these people, it was a good
workout.
It was a pretty good workout. All right, I want to get to. I sent in a tape to the guy. I will punish myself here. And
is this Sunday?
What was Sunday's probably? It will definitely be the bad beat of the meat for me. We'll watch.
It's got to be the last race.
We'll watch the stretch run to the last race. Bobby M's Girl was my dark horse play of the day, and it was my personal play of the week. I had a
part
doubles.
Of the pick three?
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So Bobby M's Girl is the number 10 horse, and Katie Davis gets this one out to the lead. And it looks like the momentum on the one North End Lady is not going to be enough. Bobby M's Girl fights back, and I'm like, 18. And then it starts to be head bob, head bob, head bob. They're right there at the wire. And let's watch the slow-mo.
You are a masochist.
I'm in the lead.
People say, let's watch the photos.
I'm not in the lead. I'm not in the lead. And then as we get to the wire, I'm in the lead right at the wire. You can see. And then, ouch, it's very close. And I pulled up the photo here. The finish,
just can't. You want a 2x4 to hit yourself in the head?
Finish line is the white, and the pink is where so you can see it's oh man. But I'll go over what. Oof, this was brutal. Now you can see how much it was. Okay.
And this was there seems to be three styles of photo finishes. One is your body is in the lead and you win the bob. The real crusher is your body's in the lead and you lose the bob. That was unique to me that they were about equal. Their bodies were about equal, and it was on the line.
And like you said, I'm in the lead.
Your nose is down.
I'm in the lead right before 6 inches before the wire. I'm in the lead 6 inches.
You're taking this awfully well, I'll say.
Oof.
I don't know. I would not be bringing this up.
So let me go through it. It was my dark horse play of the day. It would have put me in the black for the dark horse play.
I would say so. It'd be half the meat.
I don't know if I explained. It was 18-1.
18, yeah.
You saw it on the screen. Now, personally, the winner was the 3-1 favorite. I had them reversed. So I did collect a little exacta money. That's probably why the sting isn't quite as bad. I came out of the race all right. But not. I had doubles and other things. So, dark horse play of the day. It was my best bet in the Times Union.
The old Jonathan Shepard 20-1 best bet shot.
It was my best bet. It obviously would have counted, it would have been another win on then added to my own personal ROI. Personally, I had a bunch, but then I had the pick 3 bankroll on Sunday. It was another one of those.
Is this cathartic for you? Because
not at all. But you got to let this story go play out because it's. Why not? I mean, it's a bad.
What was the pick 3 paying?
Well, that's so. I hit. I used the winner, but obviously I used Bobby M's Girl as well. So the bankroll team winds up hitting that pick 3 for 150 with Bobby M's Girl 750. So it was a brutal beat for not just me. The bankroll team got let. The bankroll team once again winds up with some money, but. Like earlier, we were live, and here we were live 6 inches from the
So
wire.
it was 150 to 750, which is obviously a 5-to-1 ratio, and their odds were a 6-to-1 ratio, 3-to-1 to 18-to-1. So that's sort of symmetry, although I don't think that holds up. But it did
and the exact, as I said, I had the exact obviously both ways, and that I collected for $2. It was $75. The other way for $2, it was $150. So it was like, it was a rough end to the weekend. Certainly,
most people walk away babbling for like 2 days after a beat like that.
I
But you
babbled a little bit.
It's Gene Kirchner. He texted me. He goes, "Is that you or Seth?" I go, "It's Seth." I had her for third.
He said I actually had a beer with him Monday night.
Oh, very nice.
McAdam and Keith and a couple other folks. He mentioned that.
I have a logistical thing, but they've moved the Fort Erie race now. Is like September 10th. He told me. I always thought it was like deep into September, but he said September 10th because he's planning on going, and I have been planning on going, but I'm hoping to be in Detroit on the 8th, and I don't know what to do with the 9th. If I take a couple of days, I don't know what to do in the in-between day, but not that I'm afraid of driving, but final week, the locals week, as it were.
Absolutely.
Last unofficial weekend of summer.
Friday, GMAC will be in town. Jerry McNamara, Syracuse alum and a longtime Syracuse assistant, now head coach at Siena. So keep that in mind.
Meet and greet, right? I think I saw.
Yeah. I think it's going to start at maybe 1, something like that. You can check it out. When we get to Friday, I'll update.
Is this his first head coaching job?
Yeah, because he was a longtime assistant at Syracuse. Coming up, Capital OTB today, Prize Wheel Day, as we've been doing every Wednesday during the month. We continue that today. The last Wednesday of Saratoga. Free admission down to Clubhouse Racebook. Folks will get randomly selected to spin the prize wheel. Maybe you win a little extra something today at the Racebook. Tomorrow at the Racebook to play the board contest. So, again, an opportunity to win a little extra something. Friday, $100 knockout challenge at the Clubhouse Racebook. So a little extra fun on Friday as well. And Saturday, still more fun with the King of the Hill contest at the Clubhouse Racebook. 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Something going on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Friday, $100 knockout challenge, as I say, at the Clubhouse Racebook. But there's a Fan Appreciation Day at the Gallup Inn and Woodlawn. So we have a couple of Fan Appreciation Days. If you're patrons at either of those places, the Gallup Inn or Woodlawn, stop on by on Friday so we can say thank you to you for your patronage. Fan Appreciation Day is always a lot of fun. Food, we get some free stuff, some PPs, contest, a lot of fun. That happens on Friday. Saturday, the Bounty Bet returns. It'll be late pick 5 at Saratoga. Play with your Capital OTB bet account. And we have one more shot at the pick 3 bankroll. And again, I think I got some money 5 and whiffed on 2, or I know it was at least 4, but I think it was 5. One of them was small, and they all we run into the last leg on all of them, having a shot. As you saw there, a very good shot. So we'll try to make that shot count on Sunday. Entries will open for the bankroll as usual on Friday afternoon. Coming up top of the hour, Sean Clancy. Sean Clancy, we'll have to congratulate him. He was awarded.
Bet he's got a pin.
Probably does, of being the award winner. But I think he won the Height Award from the National Thoroughbred Writers and Broadcasters. It was announced just
2 days ago.
Yeah, or yes, no, it was yesterday. Yeah,
was it yesterday?
So we'll talk a little bit about that with Sean and also get some of his thoughts on the jump race. The aforementioned Gene Kirchner will be in. I think at this point he's the leading public handicapper, but I know he's sitting there. If he's not leading, he is right in the thick of things. But I think he leads now. He writes for the Buffalo News, handicaps during the Saratoga season for the Gazette, does some content for the Gazette as well. We'll talk about that, all of that. And to your favorite thing, he has a positive ROI going into the last week.
Yes.
So we're rooting for Gene to keep that rolling.
We went out for breakfast when I have a funny feeling it's his favorite thing.
It is his favorite thing. He said it. He said it. Yeah, he said that's what he's shooting for.
That is.
I don't blame him. He's right there with 6 days to go. Also, Tom Amello with some trips and whatnot on a Wednesday. So all that coming up top of the hour.
Hopefully he doesn't have the finale on Sunday as a trip note to just pile it on.
I know what he's got. So
oh, you do? Okay.
You're
some relief
you
there.
are absolutely right.
I see if Tom said that. Said to be like, I don't want to produce your segment.
Here's Tom Mello. Excuse me.
Yes, excuse me. I'll be back. Tom, can you hold my beer? I gotta go. A different part of the hold my beer. But as we say, it's come on up. It's usually a very enjoyable week, and the racing will be outstanding. 6 days. They certainly must have a lot of horses back there because I finished Friday. I think there's 12 on Friday. Yeah. I didn't look, but I guess the early entries should be out for Saturday. I saw somebody
I think there's 13 on Saturday.
13? Well, and remember, I mean, for Naira's sake, I mean, there'll be the break. So, you're going to have 10 or 11 days. Kentucky Downs, I saw Tim Wilkin posted, I guess he's
tomorrow.
there.
Yeah.
I guess he's there. Yeah. He said goodbye to Saratoga and hello to Kentucky Downs.
He was very melancholy about it. Same last year. He did the same thing last year. Mike Kane goes down as well. They work with Jenny Reese down there covering Kentucky Downs. But that kicks off tomorrow with the purses that are just eye-popping.
I mean, somebody made some comment about a particular race as a function of a stakes race that was up here and they're the same price. Like, what are we doing here in the game? How do we, because there's no central office, you're going to have this. But my friend is coming up from Atlanta with the wife, so we're going out Sunday, but he's going to Kentucky Downs. How long is this meet? I thought the meet used to start on the Sunday of Labor Day, like at the end of our meet. It is. Starts on Saturday, runs to tomorrow. Sunday. Starts tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
Thursday.
They skip Friday, then they Saturday and Sunday, I think, and the same thing next week. And then I think there's maybe 1 or 2 more days. So it's essentially 7 or 8 days.
It's almost it's not but very difficult to get to the end of this meet and to get to that. It's impossible for me to go see Timonium because they run concurrent because they don't run Monday and Tuesday. These people are just not making it easy for me, Seth. Yeah. It's like,
It's funny they don't run Monday or Tuesday, though. You think they fill that Ellis, I think, made a great move going to Mondays. I'll be interested to see their handle, though, and see if it's verified. The Monday handle.
They're done. But one thing I love about Kentucky Downs is they set the portable rails up, and they're at the beginning, and then they just take them down. I mean, you see in the first day, there's 3 rails, and I think they run for 2 days, take them down, run for 2 more days, take them down. But I'd love to get to that meet. It's just not legit. Anthony's a senior; he doesn't really need me, but we like to go out to dinner, the first night of school. So, but maybe next year. But because it looks like it's been moved. It's a lot of fun. It looks like. There's only 9 races today, right? So we're good. Yeah. It is time though for the DePaula Chevrolet play the day for all fans of the number 99.
The race for savings is going on now at DePaula Chevrolet. Pick your Chevy, pick your payment, and DePaula delivers. Or every Chevy, 0 down payment, 0 first payment, 0 security.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Hey everybody, Steve Bick. Back with you for the closing week of the Saratoga season. It flew by like it always does. Fabulous Travers Day. Hope you enjoyed it. The race certainly lived up to all of the hype. Gonna start the week. We've got the Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and Labor Day plays. And we're gonna go to the 9th race today. Maiden 40 state breds, and these are fillies and mares, 5.5 on the grass. There's a horse that's kind of dirtied up, Just Heart. This is Bruce Brown, who's looking to get his first win. And Just Heart was rained off last time. That came at the beginning of August and is 10-1. And we're going to get every bit of that. This is a horse that has got a hint of ability. And at this price, in kind of a hodgepodge of a field, there are some droppers that might be more likely, like the 4-horse Splashy for Chris Clement. That one's dropping out of Maiden Special Company. But I like Just Heart in here. Louis Saez sticks and feels like a horse that can sit mid-pack and go. It's a live 10-1 shot. Like to see Bruce Brown get a winner before the meet ends as well. The 9, Just Heart, the DePaula play of the day as we hurtle toward the end of another great summer. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow.
The race for savings is going on now at DePaula Chevrolet. Pick your Chevy, pick your payment, and DePaula delivers. Or every Chevy, 0 down payment, 0 first payment, 0 security.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, on a beautiful start to week number 8. So what do we have? We have 34 in the books. 34 days.
Yep.
We have 6 left. I mean,
Oh, well, we have 33 in the books. That one Friday.
Oh, that's right. We lost that day. Is this the 3rd attempt to run the Michael Walsh novice?
I don't know.
It's at least the 2nd, right?
Is it? I don't.
I
Is
so.
this rescheduled? I don't know.
Remember, we lost.
We did, but
we
I
lost
thought,
at least 2 jumps, not counting the Smithwick, which we were here with Joe Clancy, and he kind of thought they were coming back on Sunday, which they did.
Yeah.
But the Michael Walsh novice steeplechase to kick off the final week.
I'm going to go 2, 7, 8, and 1. I thought Westerland. I'm just looking how many of these are coming up from Colonial. At least a couple. Some are coming in from Europe. But we have 3 coming in from Colonial, and that Colonial meet obviously is going more regularly with the steeplechase runners, and so in this novice category it makes sense. And this one comes up from Colonial. A, you like that? You like horses at Saratoga who already have some racetrack, bona fide oval racetrack experience, and B, coming in with a nice victory like this. I'm going to tilt towards Westerland. We got 6-1 on the morning line. We'll see. 2nd spot, Hold Hard. Nice win, nice couple of wins to come into this to start the season. 2 for 2 on the jumps, and broke the maiden and then followed up with a nice win. So I think Hold Hard is a player in here as well. And Evie's Prince, another one coming up from Colonial, just ran away and hid from the other 6 runners in that race at Colonial last time. So I think this one is a player as well. They all seem like they're in decent form and have a good enough race to get it done here. But I'm going to go 2, 7, 8, and 1.
You said Evie's Prince ran away and hit. I don't know much about steeplechase. I'm 6'4", but the 8 intrigues me because, Seth, I coined this pulling a Damascus, the horse. I think in the Travers that Damascus won by 22. I think at one point he was like 15 lengths behind the leader. This guy was 20 lengths behind the leader and wins by 16. I'm coining that pulling a Damascus. I'm 6'4", but the 8 intrigues me. I might have a singular eye on the monitor when they run to see how a horse, I don't care if it's a jump or anything, how do you come, I can't do the math, but I'm guessing I would say in between those calls it's maybe 1.5 miles. I mean, I don't know the points of calls for the steeplechase, but certainly. I'm sure it's deep into the race before they make the first call, but 20 back to 16 in front is pretty good.
Second race this afternoon, allowance non-winners are 1. Other than they'll go the 1.5 turn mile out of the chute.
7.62 for me, and eliminate. We certainly hope is not. I think even without any scratches, 7 is not too bad. It's not as good as 4, but it's pretty good. Todd Pletcher's runner comes out of a 2-turn race. I think that's a very good setup. Comes in at the same allowance level of 1X from Monmouth. For a second, Reserve Currency, who I almost put on top. I think the rate, it's a very competitive race here. And then From Another Mother goes out second off the claim. You have the 4 live in here, which both Seth and I left off the board, but is a major player in here.
I went 1, 6, 2, and 7.
Yes,
the
you
1's
did.
going to be my dark horse play of the day, so
Okay.
I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. Reserve Currency, I kind of juggled around in here.
Rightfully so.
So I could have gone in that direction, but I'll talk a little bit more about it with the play of the day. The post position is now becoming notable to me when you look it up here. So on the inside, I tilted more towards General Banker versus reserve currency. I will say post number 6, and scratches will change this if that's a factor, but post number 6, 5 for 41 at the mile. I'll give you stats on the inside in a moment, though. So, again, I tilt a little bit towards General Banker over reserve currency or eliminate. Again, with the post position,
it's hard.
I moved that one down a little bit. That one's in my 4th spot. I went from another mother in the 2nd spot. Again, my top, or that one and my top pick, I thought the post was maybe something that I had to pay a little more attention to. So, again, I'll hit on that when I talk dark horse play of the day, but I have it 1, 6, 2, and 7.
But you're not quite on the bandwagon of blowing it up yet,
no,
are you?
No. I mean, there's still enough from other post positions that
we had I was trying to count rapidly. I thought we had a 10-horse field the other day going the mile, and even though I wanted them to keep it on for like 5 more seconds, it looks like it's hard to win from out there. If you had speed out there, that would be a problem, I think, because you'd have to use a lot of energy. It just looks geometrically like you're out in no man's land. You're kind of like having to figure it out. But I think it's time for that dark horse.
Oh, we do it. Yeah,
247.
Yeah, you're right. With
I was wondering you didn't.
No. I'm always thinking 3, but with the 9 races today.
I know.
So let me get to it. Dark horse play of the day today. I'm going to go with General Banker. And there was nothing on the card today that absolutely jumped out at me as a fun dark horse play. But let's see if we can get this one after the brutal dark horse on Sunday, the brutal beat. It was a nice race. And, again, it was a good effort. But, oof. All right. As I say, the one post position, let me give you numbers here. From the one coming out of the mile chute this season, there have been 50 races that they came out of 1, 2, 3, and 4. The 1 is 9 winners. The 2 is 9 winners. The 3 is 10 winners. The 4 is 10 winners. So out of 50 races run that actually, those are the mile races. There have been 50 mile races. The outside post positions maybe didn't use all of those races, obviously. But out of the 50 mile races this year, 38 winners came out of 1, 2, 3, 4. So, again, that just tilted me in that direction. I think this horse is better than the last effort. It was off a legitimate February to July layoff. I think the horse should benefit from the fitness there. It was at 6 furlongs. 2 starts back, won the 1-turn mile down at Aqueduct. Dylan Davis on board, who obviously is riding very well. And again, with the post position that seems more beneficial here, I'm going to tilt towards General Banker. So again, dark horse play of the day today. Second race, number 1, General Banker, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both in downtown Saratoga, right on Broadway. Stop by, say hello, enjoy, grab a little dinner, browse around. As I say, you will enjoy your visit. Thanks to the Dark Horse and Impressions for sponsoring the Dark Horse Play of the Day.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, more from the spa.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 102-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 102 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the dark horse.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from Clare Court on a very pleasant Wednesday, kicking off the 8th and final week of 2024. Third race, state bred, 3-year-olds and up, maiden special weights, going the mile in the dirt.
3, 5, 7, and 8. And again, I went a little bit. The 5 is probably legitimately the one to beat, but I thought the 3 with the better post position and being right in the ballpark of, I think, talent to match up with the 5. I tilted towards that one. Big Ego, 4 tries, hasn't gotten it done yet, but put in a pretty good try last time. That was the Belmont at Saratoga meet. Claimed out of that, moves into the Linda Rice barn. You maybe have to question the layoff, but there could have been any number of reasons. This isn't an incredible layoff, but again, you claim a horse, you think they'll come back maybe a little bit sooner. But all of that said, there's a sibling called Curly Girl, 4th in the career debut, won the next couple of starts. There's a sibling also called Bostonian that won its career debut. You might remember it was entered and scratched in the stakes race last Sunday. So that was kind of a talented sibling, as was Curly Girl. So we'll see if this one can live up to those in the first start off the claim for Linda Rice. And again, the post position attracts me, given the situation on the mile, coming out of the mile chute as well. Get a job in the second spot. Paid a decent amount of money for this horse down at Ocala, March of 23. So again, you always have to wonder about 2-year-old sale, and they don't debut until August of their 3-year-old season, but did put in a pretty good debut. Also did it at Horseshoe Indy, and this is a New York bred, so now comes east to face other New York breds. Horseshoe Indy went against maiden specialists for $32,000, comes to New York and now faces New York bred maidens for $90,000. I will say it's Steve Asmussen, second time out. That's a good angle for him. On the breeding side of things, there were a couple of siblings that weren't much early, a couple of other siblings that at least showed a little something. So on the breeding side, there wasn't much, but this one ran okay in debut. And again, the Asmussen horses tend to improve with the start under their belt. Post position 5, again, looking at the stats, there were 45 races that included the 5 post positions at a mile, 3 winners out of the 5 post positions. So again, I tilted a little more towards the 3 over the 5. And then the 7 and the 8, they're up against it a little more with their post positions. But I think off of the most recent races, they both have to, you have to pay attention to either one of those as well in the third, 3, 5, 7, and 8.
And a quick note, speaking of Horseshoe, Indiana, they have canceled with the heat. And I believe Delaware is going to go at 11:30 this morning. So we may be nearing the end of the unofficial summer, but still some heat waves out there. Seth and I are in complete agreement here. What I'll say here is I would expect that there's a for me a strong probability that Get a Job regresses. And with that being said, the buyer par is 79. Seth, no one is close to that. If Get a Job regresses, he only ran a 69, and I think he's going to regress. So no one's even close. So to me, there's really no bad selection in here. I mean, it seems impractical.
The firster from Jim Bond can get
yes,
it done,
that's absolutely the where the bar is set. Is not that high. So no one, in my opinion, there's no chance anyone runs a 79. So we could say this is a softer group. So a 60 could win it. And I'm with Seth 357. I like Big Ego here for Linda Rice, but like you said, Jim Bond's firster.
Mendelssohn, good sire.
And a lot of times, you get too much in the weeds, but the idea of like winning with firsters. Well, if Jim Bond would win this one, it helped the stats, everything, but you'd be like, that was a nice little field to face in your first one. There was no killers in there.
Yeah, absolutely. 4th race this afternoon, plain vanilla claimers going 3/4 of a mile.
Which, by the way, one of the stats I do denote is when a singular firster wins a race, because they're giving up so much, not just the one horse, but 8 horses have more experience than them. So for you to overcome all of that, you get a little denotation.
Oh, and my friend Sam wanted me to ask you, because I said you might have it in your database. He was curious how many odds-on favorites had been beaten at the meet. Would you have that in your database?
I can get that for Sam. We'll have that back here tomorrow.
He thought the number was...
Yes. Nothing like, remember that we were working together and we had Dave Rodman on, and at that point in Maryland, they were like three wins and 13 losses. That's about the worst I've ever seen, and etc. I'm 5'8", 9 in the fourth, and I took a real flyer here, and in a way, I'm also hopeful. Lane Lussey, I think, is still on the duck.
Yeah,
we don't like to see that. I'm not saying he could get even on his ROI, but he could get pretty close. I just thought this was an incredibly wide open race. I mean, if Seth is right and the buyer's speed figures, just touching on MB's money last couple races, 72, 70, 75, 79. I'm not going to go into breaking it down. C's get degrees. 68 in the last race. So you have to hope C's get degrees, bounces back to the old one, or you're really, you're getting all the worst of it at 7-2. I thought it was a wide open race. MB's money is my top pick. I just thought he's contentious. And not only that, back in March, he ran an 88. So at 20-1, I'm taking a big shot there. Natural Harbor, first off the claim, in good form right now. And for third, Poppy's Pride. Big speed, Orlando Noda. I think it's the horse to catch with Dylan Davis, who has had, truly, folks, one of the best meets you will ever see.
Yeah.
It's just, I've talked about Edgar Prado's 1999 when his ROI was $3 after having one win the first week. This has really been
incredible,
as good as it gets.
I looked at I wonder if you get the 20-1, because I looked, and you're absolutely right. The recent numbers are okay, and their back numbers, they're better. So I wonder, there are reasons to think that's possible, but this one could go either way for me. I went 9, 8, 6, and 2. Poppy's Pride on top. Gets the 9 post position, so towards the outside. So maybe we'll have a little bit of strategic advantage, perhaps. Steps out of a starter allowance, was facing better claimers before, so gets a little dose of class relief. Natural Harbor in the second spot, claimed last time, moves up a little bit, but I don't think the move is anything that's going to provide an obstacle for this one. And off of that last effort, I think is very, very playable in here. And Garuvan in the third spot for Rob Falcone. Last seen in December at Gulfstream. Question mark on this one is obviously, are we fit and ready to roll? The workouts aren't necessarily giving any indication, but there's a steady string of workouts essentially. So I'll tilt in that direction and hope we're ready. If we are ready to roll, I think that one fits. 9, 8, 6, and 2.
On to the fifth. State bred maiden claimer is going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf course.
8, 10, 9, and 11. I'll put English Castle on top. Safi Joseph obviously having a very good meet. This one was a claim, moved into the Safi barn for owner Ken Ramsey. First time gelding symbol showing up. Ran a decent third last time for the claiming tag. Had been running against maiden specialists to begin the career. I just think off the claim in the Safi Joseph barn, the ultimate equipment change, et cetera, there are things to tilt in that direction. Second spot, we'll go outside to Carew. Chad Brown runner that I think is absolutely logical as well. 4 starts so far and only the second place finish, but string of fourths. But races that are clearly good enough to match up with this particular group. And then My Life Story going out for Mike Maker, dropped to this level last time and ran ran 5th, but the number again kind of matches up with this bunch. It's not I won't say weak necessarily. Not world beaters. I'm going to put them maybe in the mediocre category. So, again, you don't have to be a superstar. The ones I have, I think, are all right in the fit with this bunch. 8, 10, 9, and 11.
And as Seth will point out from time to time, the AE, the first one, Film Academy, who you would think has the best chance, does have the best chance of running if they want. The buyer part here is 66. And I think I have about 6 horses that can walk over it. So it makes it a very contentious race. I have it 10-6-8. Chad Brown takes off blinkers of Koryu, the offspring of Hardspun. Negotiating the outside post, but remember this is a mile 60 down the inner, so we're going to start a little bit farther up the stretch to get position. I think Manny Franco will do that. For a second, out of Waterbury, David Donk's runner. The more recent effort was the first time in for a tag in the 8th career start. Got all the worst of it with an outside post position on the Mellon turf course. And then English Castle first off the claim for Safi Joseph, 10-6-8.
All right, break time? Yes.
Sounds right.
All right, we'll take a break. We will come back and continue on this Wednesday afternoon card. Stay tuned.
I think originally it was...
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Wednesday morning. We've already noted it a few times. Boo-hoo, little melancholy, kicking off the last week. People have, I think virtually everybody you run into that talks about the track says, man, it goes fast. And I say it every year. Once it starts, boom, it zips right through.
So imagine how it felt when it was only 24 days.
It really zipped through. Yeah, you had to put it on your calendar.
I used to tell people that this sounds bizarre, but when they ran the Whitney, which was the first Saturday, which was like day 4, it felt like you had climbed the apex of the roller coaster, and it was only 4 days old. And you're just like, oh my goodness, it's getting away already. I mean, it was really, but you're right. 40 days, it still feels like.
Zips by. If you haven't made it up, make your plans and get up here and enjoy some live racing, because it's always a lot of fun. All right, 6th race today. One of those restricted maiden specials, again, restricted to the auction price or the RNA price. The level here, $50,000, which I think it typically is here. They'll go 5.5 on the grass.
Now, it's funny about this restricted. If I remember correctly, it started with just the dirt races, 6 furlongs or such. Then I saw them pop up in the route races on the turf, and now they're in the sprints, which is fine. But I don't think they've evolved into touching them. Well, they had no trouble filling this race, so they can bring this one back. I'm 9-6-7. Seth has got 2 others. Linda's Jewel, my top pick. I like the debut race. It was in the slop off the turf, but the horse was competitive. Them running, we've talked about this before, Seth, where without talking to trainers, they ran, so I think they get to keep this position because you can see how popular it is. So they get the race I think they want. The Sugars making the 3rd career start for John Terranova, and then Miss C. Banker for Tom Morley, I think could be heck to pay in here, 9-6-7.
11, 1, 7, and 8. You said it before. I'm 1 deep on the AE list. So if we get a little help, I think if Thankfully makes it in, becomes very interesting. Now, the debut effort was a very good debut effort, but it was on the dirt. So that's going to be the question mark. But if this horse takes to the gets in, B, takes to the turf, I think is very dangerous in here. So Thankfully on top. 2nd spot, Graceful Warrior. Fog of War just has some limited runners as a sire, has some limited runners so far. So hard to find, anything to hang your hat on there. But this one worked 10.1 before the sale. The dam produced a couple of nice win early siblings. Hagersdale won the debut. Maiden also won the debut. So I think there's a little bit of win early there that makes that one interesting for Jenna Antonucci and Miss C. Banker. First full, so wasn't much to find on the bottom, but certainly the record looks okay off the first two. I will say, bottom of my mix, and I'm going to play around with this one, I just couldn't pull the trigger. Selectively Sweet, the 8, was my dark horse play of the day. I'm not sure, 2 back in the debut, or I might have used the horse both times. I couldn't go back off the first 2 starts. But this one does have a sibling, Saratoga Gyro, that won the career debut. 2 other siblings won in their 3rd start. This is this one's 3rd start. Now, the siblings are more dirt, but one of them won a turf sprint, so a little bit interesting here. I will say, I've said this before, an angle that I think is always interesting. If you have a horse with a little win early breeding, I didn't mention Vekoma on top. That's clearly win early. If you have a little win early breeding and you don't get it done in the first start, second start, third, fourth start, and then you switch things up somehow, take a second look. And this one switching over to the turf plays into that. So again, off the first couple, I just couldn't quite pull the trigger. But I will, in some fashion, personally be playing a little Selectively Sweet this afternoon. So take a look. 11, 1, 7, and 8.
Try to tell Sean Clancy, usually we have valet parking for recent award winners, but not today. Valet took the day off. One more and then our final break. State Preds, optional 45, 2X, racing 6.5.
9-5, 9-4, 5-1. Sue Ellen Michigan on top. The hat tip to Seinfeld with some nice early speed and a little cutback in trip. Hasn't been seen, however, since March at Aqueduct, but comes back for a little bit of a reduced rate. Again, cuts back from the last, 3 trips. So could be interesting in the comeback, and maybe because of the comeback, gets a little bit of a price. We're looking at 6-1 on the morning line. Cousin Christie in the 2nd spot. Relatively quick turnaround. Was in a stakes race 12 days ago and now comes back, as I say, in this day and age, a little bit quickly, but could be interesting on that move. And Athena Beach in the 3rd spot. Another one with a little bit of early speed and comes in good form. Second last time, 3rd 2 back, a win, 3 back, and overall has won 5 of 9. So Athena Beach, I think, clearly dangerous. 9, 4, 5, and 1.
I had this race about 7 deep. I'm 285, and I don't know how often I've seen this in my years of looking at the racing form. I want to say never, but Scoring Chances run 4 times, has drawn the rail in all 4 starts. I mean, that's just, and it only gets the number 2 path today. And if Maggie T scratches out, Scoring Chance is going to be looking at the rail. 3rd start of the year, 2nd one since April, scored in the 1X most recently, so trying this level for the first time. Queen's Masterpiece on the outside for Mr. Bond, hasn't run since late May in a runner-up position. Ran 2nd behind a runaway winner, and then Athena Beach I have, who could definitely better this 3rd place rating, but 285 for me.
All right, time for our final break. We'll take it. We'll come back and look at the final daily double on this Thursday card of 9 races. Stay tuned.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 102-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 102 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
The only only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Welcome back to the Handicappers Report. We're up to race number 8, which is a stakes race. The P.G. Johnson, $150,000 for 2-year-old fillies, going a mile and a 16th.
I read the turf. Yes, I read the Hall of Fame bio. It said that PG had entered like in 12 straight stakes races and won, and I couldn't find that. I did not find that to be like. They said like 78, 79. He ran in 12 straight stakes races. He entered a horse, he won. I was like, that would be incredible, but I could not find out. But a terrific trainer. You talked about changing things up. That was his thing with Valponi, changing surfaces, changing the blinkers, and Valponi seemed to ignite that first change up. And what was he, 40-1? When he beat Medaglia d'Oro.
Speaking of igniting, did he ignite the pick 6 controversy? Right? Wasn't he the horse that made that whole Breeders' Cup pick 6?
I thought the horse that made him it was Dome Driver beating Rock of Gibraltar. Was like these guys had single Dome Driver because I think they took the all button in the last 2 races.
By the time, yeah, you might be right
because they broke. I think the way it was written is like the tickets didn't get pushed through until after 4 legs. So they had the 4 results: single, 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 all. And if you know you're going to win, you could just play the 5 by 3 by 4 by 2. But I thought Dome Driver winning the mile was kind of like you single Dome Driver, and then it was on. But Valponi was the last leg. 8-2-7 for me in the PG Johnson. I only met him a couple times late. So everybody says he's a wonderful man. I think he won races up here for he and Jonathan Shepard for like 2 generations, 1 a year. I think these are wide open races. Merry and Bright to me at 8-1. I'm dialed in. A very impressive winner on debut, an offspring of Hardspun. I think, I don't pay much attention to the 54. I mean, I just like what my eyes see and just go forward. For a second, Virgin Colada was very good on debut. Now should be inside again. Mile is 16th. We'll see. Flavian was brilliant aboard. And for third, Totally Justified. First time turf for an offspring of Justify, making the 3rd career start in the PG Johnson. 8-2-7.
2, 3, 4, 7 for me. I thought the 6 was also a little bit interesting. And I think the 6 without the buyer numbers, I think it's going to play into maybe a little bit of value there. And I think could be intriguing. But I put Virgin Colada on top. Chad Brown runner that, you don't normally see this from a debut winner on the 2-year-old side of things. Was sitting way in the back of the pack and made that late run to get up there. I like that. I think that says a lot for the horse and the talent. We'll see if this one can back it up, but I certainly think off of that debut it's possible. Good conduct in the 2nd spot. This horse still a maiden, but the Cherie DeVoe runner improved nicely finishing position-wise in the 2nd start. I think that's going to be a bonus today. And Tommy Amos says Lady Orient off a debut victory at Ellis. We'll see if this one goes because this cross-entered at Kentucky Downs. So I have a 2, 3, 4, and 7.
In the finale, State Bred fillies, maiden claimers, dashing 5.5 on the turf.
6, 10, 4, and 5 for me. Lorana on top. Christophe Clement runner, maiden special weight to maiden claiming. Finishing positions aren't much, but the numbers are okay. And I'm kind of going with that, again, in a field where mediocre, like I said about an earlier field. Majulu in the 2nd spot of an improved effort in the 2nd career start. That was with a turf to turf move at this level. And Splashy in the 3rd spot, going out for Matt Couture and Adelphi Racing. Had Matt on the show the other day, and subsequently his Panda Gate won. So congratulations to that team. Also, Joe Krong, a local part owner there as well. But I think Splashy, again, has numbers that are good enough to mix it up with this bunch, like the top pick, Loretta, and they're both trained by Christophe Clement. 6'10", 4 and 5.
6 deep at this race for me, 9, 12, and 4. And, just really my rule of thumb. When I think they're this deep, I got to take a price. Jess Hart, 2 races back is the type of race that I need to improve on to find the winner's circle at double-digit odds. Good mission to me, very intriguing, but we are on the outside. And then Splashy, first time in for a tag. Dylan Davis, 9, 12, 4 in the finale.
All right, once again, coming up top of the hour, Sean Clancy is in the house, so we'll bring Sean up, talk a little bit about that, and congratulations on the nice award that was announced yesterday. We'll also get some thoughts on the steeplechase for today, some thoughts on the weekend, as well as Saratoga Special wrapping up. They put out their penultimate issue today, and then they'll have the last issue of the meet coming up on Saturday. Gene Kirshner, again, writes for the Buffalo News about horse racing. But during the meet, handicaps for the Daily Gazette doing very well with, I think he's leading with number of winners, but he's right up there, but has a positive ROI. So we'll wish him the best there and get some ideas maybe for today and other topics as well. And then Tom Amello on a Wednesday. It's always a Tom visit with some trip notes and whatnot. All of that coming up in just a few, racing across America.
2 years ago, I was minus $3 coming into the last week, and I was horrible. I wish Gene the absolute opposite of that. Just knock it out of the park. He stays, I go. It's a beautiful kickoff to week number 8. See you back here tomorrow morning.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook. 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.